Sentiment towards the Shadwell team, who also, of course, have that horse in here, Hakiki. Good luck to John Hyde, his first runner on this card. They're nearly all in then. It's our Dubai Turf of 2022. Can Lord North win it for the second year in a row?
Alfariq wins and Lord North will complete the lineup for the Dubai Turf, sponsored by DP World. Up goes Lord North. Set for a start. Gates are back and they fired away, and Mahafith didn't get away well. Gave away a couple of lengths. Panther Lassa, first one to break, goes off to the early lead. Colonel Liam will try and get across. He's second for now. Then comes Harovian, who races away in third. Desert Fire hugs the rail, got a nice position in fourth. Saffron Beach is in the red colours in fifth. Myober on the yellow, races away in sixth, half a length in front of Schnellmeister. Then comes Lord North, the blue sleeves with the white chevron, racing a little bit deep for now. Alfariq is in and amongst runners. Ursa Minor, white sleeves and cap, is at the wide outside. Vaughn de God was next best. Then comes Mahafith, who's recovered. He's not at the back of the field anymore after blowing the start. A length and a half away to Hakiki, and Sir Busker happy to watch on from the end of the field. Well, Panther Lassa loves to let rip, but he's just keeping a lid on things by his standards. He's a two-length leader at the first turn, 1,000 metres out. Colonel Liam races away in second. Desert Fire, the all-blue colours, is third. Saffron Beach at the outside of Harovian. Then comes Lord North, who's trying to get a wriggle on. Myober on the yellow colours in a bit of a pocket. Schnellmeister also tries to work into the open. Ursa Minor being nudged and nurdled along. Then comes Mahafith, who's three-quarters of the way back. Sir Busker, Vaughn de God, they next best. Mahafith, and further back in running then we find Hakiki, but they're homeward bound, and Panther Lassa in front by two, balances up over Colonel Liam, who's second. Then towards the outside, Lord North, Saffron Beach, Schnellmeister, red cappers towards the outside. They reach the final 200. Panther Lassa in the lead. Lord North on the chase. Vaughn de God is third. Panther Lassa 2 lengths in front. Lord North trying to double the dose. Vaughn de God not without hope. Panther Lassa crying for the line. Here is the line. It's desperately close. What a finish. Panther Lassa, Lord North, Vaughn de God, a three-way go. Fourth also tight. Saffron Beach, Sir Busker. Then in behind them was Alfariq. Towards the inside was Myober on. Schnellmeister didn't lift. Further back to Colonel Liam. Then came Harovian. After them were the likes of Ursa Minor. Hakiki was next to finish. Desert Fire and Sir Busker. One for the judge. Panther Lassa, Lord North and Vaughn de God. I don't actually have an instinct. It's desperately close. Panther Lassa, head down, head back up. Oh, I can't tell. That is so close. Paul Devlin, the ball's in your court. Panther Lassa, Lord North, Vaughn de God, fourth, goes the way of Saffron Beach. Sir Busker was next to finish. Then came Alfariq, Myober on. Schnellmeister got into the clear, didn't lift. Then came Colonel Liam. They were ahead of Mahafith. Ursa Minor was next best. And no numbers in the frame just yet. Panther Lassa got away. He grits his teeth 100 metres out. He heard the hooves of Lord North and Vaughn de God closing in. It's Japan, Japan or the UK. That is as good a finish as you will ever see. Has Panther Lassa held on?
What a finish to our Group 1 Dubai Turf. Did it go to Panther Lassa, Lord North, or was it on the outside last year's second, Van der Gaard? Brilliant finish, Richie. I can't tell. You think Panther Lassa's hung on?
I'm not sure. Looking at the still frame, it looks like the inside horse. I think either way, it's a Japanese horse. Oh, I don't know on that frame.
That's not necessarily on the line. Well, it says unofficial for a reason. That's not what the stewards are looking at right now.
Well, I thought it. Yeah, one way or the other, we thought it was a Japanese horse, but I kind of thought my first thought was the inside, but on that still frame, Lord North has got it.
This is a race that's thrown up a dead heat in the past. Paolini and Right Approach way back in the day. So you never know.
Here we go, this is a good angle.
Hilary Udale, our judge, will maybe take a little bit of time over this, because the image on the big screen and our image on the TV are not the official photo finish camera. That's the crucial thing you've got to remember. The crowd are cheering. I'm not quite sure for which horse. It was a brilliant race anyway. Panther Lassa, we knew he'd be the speed. I didn't think he could last home, but maybe he did. And then what a performance. Win or lose, to get Lord North back from nearly a year off the track, tremendous.
Well, the handicapper got it slightly wrong, dropping him after it. But they said that was a really good derby. There was a course record, that winter derby in February, and we've the good form update now for Alan Curran our next. I thought the outside bobbed. I dismissed Lord North completely in that. I thought it was a bob of inside-outside, but I don't know. It's one thing for sure. Oh, here we go.
All they've done is put up a photo between Lord North and Panther Lassa. They've made Vandergaard third, so they've decided Vandergaard a third. But I think because they put Lord North's colours up first, which is alphabetical, I imagine, the crowd have decided that means he's won. That's not the case. It's just photo, provisional results. They are still looking at between Lord North and Panther Lassa. Well, we wait a little bit longer to see if Frankie Dettori has won this race for a third time, and if Lord North enters the history books as the first dual winner, or whether Panther Lassa, whether it's just a dream night for the YAHAGI team, whether they get a third win. Yutaka Yoshida, the jockey on board this one, there he is. So the judge is going to take a fair bit of time over this. You don't want to be getting it wrong when it's a $5 million prize. Vandergaard one spot worse than last year. John Gosden probably doesn't know either. Saffron Beach is fourth. Jane Chapelheim, I imagine, will be over the moon with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'll set her up for a big campaign in the summer back home and around Europe. I think she's run a cracking race. She was always well positioned by Holly. She was just tracking, I think it was Todd Pletcher's horse, Colonel Liam. She was in the right spot, and I'd expect her to improve from that run. So first run of the year, very good run, and like I say, I think there's exciting big things for her going back home into Europe.
Also would open up possibilities of her going to 2,000 metres maybe as well. So Busker fifth, Edgar, the syndicate will be so happy with that.
Yeah,
Kennett Valley.
They're such a fun syndicate. They're fabulous. They cheer and they enjoy it. And you've always been such a campaigner for syndicates and a big pusher of them.
Syndicates can't afford to own a horse outright.
Well, and whether it's that or otherwise, the point is they're part of the modern game, and it's very important that they do well, and they're represented well tonight. He tucked out as he always does. They've gone a good clip. I was a little bit disappointed with Colonel Liam. He flattered to deceive at top of the bend, but Sir Busker ran exactly the race that William Knight thought he would. He said to be pace, he'd drop him out and he'd stay on home, and he justified his place here tonight. I'm glad they got in. Big run.
This is quite interesting because this is Panther Lassa. The jockey stayed on. The jockey looked to me as if he was headed for the winner's enclosure, and then one of the paddock stewards said, it's not decided yet, you need to circle here. Whereas Lord North tack off all sorts. They've almost like they've resigned themselves to second the Gosden team, which is quite interesting. But
I think it's wise after such a hard race that they unsaddle him anyway. Frankie wisely's jumped off Lord North and he's getting his customary cool down. I think that's just a safety factor. The stewards have asked both jockeys to get off and let the horses cool down. I mean, they've put everything into it. It was probably one of the greatest finishes we've seen in racing in Maidan in recent times. I think the last one was possibly on to Peter in the World Cup when Gloria de Campio won. So I don't think we've had.
Don't forget Thunder Snow. Gronkowski was pretty close.
I think, yeah, but a three-way photo we had.
A three-way photo, yeah.
I think we had. There was also Mike de Kock, Gloria de Campio, and I think Ahmed Ajebi was on the inside of.
Ahmed Ajebi was there on
Ahmed was on the inside, so it was a three-way photo.
I'm too young to remember all that.
Catching up.
It was heartbreaking because Kevin Shea thought he'd won on Lizard's Desire and celebrated accordingly. It was very heartbreaking.
I think that's because Ahmed told him he'd won.
We have had one dead heat if I remember rightly, here at Maidan. Came in a local race a few years ago. They're not commonplace, and I'm not necessarily expecting one here, but judges are taking their time. And obviously, Rich, in your career, you've won plenty of races by short heads and noses and things. How often do you know you've won? Do you think that any of these jockeys will know?
I think I've got beaten more of them than I've won. There's sometimes you'll go past the line and you'll have an idea, you'll think you've won. And there's been many a times, I think I've been beaten in 2 photos this year. I thought I'd actually won, and I'd question the photography. But there's other times you kind of know deep down, and certain tracks that the angle of the track, it favours horses on the inside. Abu Dhabi, for instance, always favours the inside horse in a photo, even when you have one flashing home. So here, I think it's a tough one, and that was a tough photo. It was hard to. My first thoughts were the Japanese horses held on. So, as a jockey, you kind of have an idea. You think you might have done enough, but then you would always side on the air of caution and not go into the winner's enclosure until it's called anyway.
That's exactly what we've got here. Two horses circling behind us. Connections waiting on nervously. John Gosden looking not particularly nervous, to be honest. He's a confident chap. But either way, these horses have run brilliantly. Super training performance by all concerned. Panther Lasher had come in here off the back of a win in the Nakayama Kinen, as we mentioned last time. Same race won by Just Away. And Lord North came here off the back of that Winter Derby. I mean, it does move up Elenqua in the next race a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, regardless of what the photo does, it's just form. It's just an unbelievable form, because he's given him 2 lengths in the Winter Derby, and given him a good victory that day. And it was his prep coming in here, and we know Lord North runs fresh, but Allegra, probably needed that run. So yeah, and remember, that was a 1.25 miles on the dirt as well. So Alan Corr's going farther. He's going to the 1.5 miles next, which will suit him even better. So he was at a disadvantage against Lord North in Lingfield, on a very sharp, fast speed track like Lingfield, over 1.25 miles. So yeah, it's a big plus in a few minutes.
2004 was that dead heat in this race. Right approach and Paolini.
I think we could well have this is going. The longer this goes on, the longer this goes on, I would be erring for the side of a dead heat at this stage, because generally they will normally have the photo by now. And in fairness to both horses, I think if you ask both jockeys, they'd settle for a dead
Frankie
heat.
Dettori's already been asked and said, I'll settle for a dead heat.
I think they'd settle for a dead heat, and like I say, the longer this goes on, I think
it's announced.
Dead heat.
It's a dead heat. Fantastic. Yeah. Lord North and Panther Lasser, UK and Japan. We will have 10 winners on Dubai World Cup card. On the Dubai World Cup card this evening. Brilliant stuff. Neither horse deserved to lose. Fantastic training performance by John and Lady Gosden, and just as fantastic by Team YAHAGI. Their 3rd winner of the night. Tremendous stuff. Panther Lasser. He's a very popular horse. He's a son of that great Lord Kanaloa. Let's hear from one of the winning jockeys.
Yoshito YAHAGI, congratulations, dead heat victory, 3rd win of the day. What a day for you.
3勝目。ただこれが同着の勝利。
What a day. He went to the lead. That was the plan the whole time. Did he give you a bit of a nervous ending there, a bit of a thrill?
最後、作戦では逃げっていう形だったんでしょうか。最後
もっと逃げるつもりだったけど、ナイターを気にしたのか、いつもほどの行きっぷりじゃなかったですね。
Our plan wanted to go more far in the front, but I think horse a little hesitate in the light, so it was that much lead.
Yeah, he didn't. He gave them a little less distance there. So this past 6 months, it's been huge for you. You've obviously Breeders' Cup, Saudi, Dubai, and Hong Kong. Like, what is the key? What your yard has done so well.
いろいろそれを聞かれるけど、俺にも分かんないし、俺に教えてほしい。
Honestly, I don't know why. Just please tell me what is reason.
Well, congratulations again, big victory.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What a night for Yoshito YAHAGI. Many thanks to him for talking to Mikey there. I suppose we were a bit too late here for our winning jockeys, because they'll be preparing for the next race, which isn't a million miles away. That was great fun, waiting for the results of this photo finish. Totally contrasting paths through the race. Edgar, of course, Panther Lasher, as we expected, was on the speed.
Yeah, on the speed the whole way. Jumped out, and I actually thought he was going probably quick enough. Especially when I saw Colonel Leem off it at the top end, I thought, this guy is, he's really gone fast. But Lord North tracked him there. He's in a lovely position in the middle. Colonel Leem on the outside and going, but he flattered it very early and straight. Saffron there tucked in about 5th, so all the main horses were just tucked in. She's watching Lord North, and a lovely ride, as you said, Richie.
That's Harrovian, yeah. Lord North's in about 8th there, I think.
Yeah, coming through.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, well,
it's the same colours, but it's a white cap. It's James up in, I think he's sitting 2nd or 3rd, is he?
3rd there, yeah.
Yeah. Frankie's further back. I think Frankie's sort of keeping an eye on was it Christoph that rode the other Japanese runner, Schnellmaster?
Schnellmeister.
He was just in front of him, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they looked like they went a nice pace, and and I think the pace kind of eased off around here. They were able to get a breather into him, which allowed the rest of the pack to sort of to get back into it. But like you say, they're all, you know,
So
the
Lord
jockeys all
North is
seem
coming
pretty.
between just coming into
Lord
midway now,
North
is he?
is yeah, he's just in front of Mohafa at the back. Yeah, he's just
About,
through the middle of them there.
I think
There, he
the
just
skull
kind
on
of switches
split.
out now.
Yeah.
I thought your Mahathas travelled really well, Richie, for a long way.
Travelled really well, and yeah, we're kind of going back to, is he one of those horses that travels really well and doesn't seem to find anything? I'd give him the excuse that it was his first run of the year. It got a little bit messy when the pace slackened off around the turn. You know, there was probably an excuse that, you know, this is a stepping stone for things to come, but ultimately he's looking, I'll agree with Edgar, he's looking like a horse that seems to travel extremely well, and when push comes to shove, isn't really finding what we're finding. Ultimately, is he a horse that they eventually decide to come back to a mile? I'm not quite sure, because they skipped the Derby, whether there was problems or whether they thought he wouldn't stay.
Funny, William Haggis actually said that after the Hampton Court. He actually made that comment when asked, because he was in the Derby, which way they go, and he said, well, one thing for sure is we won't be going up.
Yeah.
Do you know, so that's an interesting angle, Richie, to come back with him a little bit.
I'm just looking at him now and I'm thinking, potentially he's probably a miler.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, he travels extremely well, and isn't really. Is he finding that, or is he just emptying out? And you know, he's running out of oxygen, running out of stamina late on. So I certainly wouldn't be worried coming back to a mile the way he travels through his races.
And then, of course, when you're looking at him, if you're at the wrong trip in a Grade 1, you're going to be doubly exposed. I mean, if he drops back to a mile and maybe comes back in grade a little bit, I presume he'll get him back there around May time, and maybe drop him to a Grade 3 and get that confidence back up, because that's where he's showing.
He could do, and the interesting thing, it'd be interesting to see if he doesn't aim him at something like a Lockinge. You know, the first Group 1
Coming up in the start of May, middle of May, yeah.
Straight mile, he might be better on a straight track as well.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with him, because I think William Haggis is got an embarrassment of riches as it comes to his older horses, and obviously you try to separate them, a bit like Charlie Appleby with his 3-year-olds last year. You're trying to sort of separate them, so whether he's the one that he thinks, right, we'll come back to a miler, we probably don't have a miler going forward. This horse shows all the signs and all the right credentials that he travels well through the race, and like I say, if he doesn't, then he's looking quite vulnerable at this stage.
He is, yeah, looking quite vulnerable. I think it'll be a lot of thinking, but he's a thinking trainer, William Haggis, and the team will work it out, and they'll come back to a plan. The one thing is for sure, he has ability.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Speaking of William Haggis, he's got a couple of runners in our next race, the Dubai Shima Classics, coming up in a few moments. Charlie Appleby as well, one more runner on the card. Richie, you've obviously been raced with the yard all season. They've run really well. They'll be disappointed, Bonobo. Of course, things just didn't pan out for him earlier on, did they?
Yeah, and I think, you know, the horse should take a lot more credit than I know he's got beaten, but he was very, very gassy early on, and it was a very strange race. We went quite quick going into the first turn, and then the pace slacked off, and we were, you know, it was very modelling down the back, and like I was talking to William afterwards, he said, you know, the one thing I think the horse will have done tonight is learnt a lot, because he's had to settle. He hasn't, you know, he's ran very, very keen, and the fact that he's still able to finish second. But I've always felt, looking at him, look, I don't really know the horse, I've never sat on him, but I think he could quite easily win a Group 1 over a mile and a half. He has that much pace, natural ability, and it might be a blessing that he got beat in this 2-mile race, because they can decide to come back to a mile and a half with him. Yeah, I think if he'd have won, he might have ended up running those cup races and, you know, not quite getting over the line, staying that longer distances. So I think I'd be very surprised if he wasn't able to win a Group 1 over a mile and a half.
2 sets of winning connections then going up there to receive the trophy for our Dubai Turf. And this is Mr. Abdullah bin Damithan, the CEO and Managing Director of DP World, UAE and Javsa. That looks like Hugh Anderson picking up the prize for connections of Lord North, who of course is owned by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's son, His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Mohammed. So congratulations to him. There's J.Goss Gosden sharing this trophy with
Who gets to take the trophy home?
And I suppose what they do with the prize money, they join together first and second, don't they, and split it?
Split it, yeah.
I don't think anyone will be complaining about the prize money, but
I don't think
But typical jockey wants to know where the trophy's going. They're never happy, Lorna. 10% of millions.
I'd say Frankie might let him have the trophy.
I'd say, well, Frankie's third win in the race. It's the first win.
Just extra baggage to take home.
Ever in Dubai for Yutaka Yoshida, the jockey there. It's his second ride here, so congratulations to Yutaka Yoshida. What a night for Japan. 4 wins. And with a formidable team to come now in our Shima Classic. They could well make it 5. They've got authority, they've got Glory Vase. Wow. They got Shariar.
The Saki will be flowing later on, and it won't from the hills.
This is great though, this is really good fun. What is it about the Dubai turf that throws up dead heat? Second one of them. No other race on the card has thrown one up.
It's been a great race for the Japanese horses, haven't I think that's 5 from 8 wins in 3 seconds or something.
Even back in Nado Shiba days, when it was the old duty free, it was a race the Japanese and Hong Kong, dominated for quite a while. That and the Shima, the races they've really gone after it. But they bring, the one thing with the Japanese, they don't bring second-rate horses here. They bring their top draw horses, and the Middle East has been a great hunting ground for them in the past few weeks. Anyway, with Saudi and then again here. So
and it's remarkable for them, Richie, because it's not like, we'll say, for instance, when the Hong Kong horses were coming a little bit more, there's their season that they catch it in the spring of the year and they're in it. Like Japan, these Japanese horses, like their big races are in the summer as well. They're finishing off with Japan Cup in the autumn, so it's not necessarily a pinnacle, and still they're able to keep them going into Hong Kong, into Saudi now, and on into, with Breeders' Cup before that, and on here. It's remarkable training, really.
I just think it's the whole thing with Japanese racing, the whole setup, it's just very, very professional. You see them, the horses look amazing. Their training facilities, I mean, they've got, I think, undercover gallops and there's no stone unturned. The crowds they draw in week week out, it's, and they've just got better and better, and their breeding operation is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. And
we've got no seconds. It looks a bit strange, our graphic, doesn't it? I don't think we were prepared for a dead heat when we made these up. And I've just seen Steve, one of the owners of Sabuska, giving me a thumbs up over the hedge. They are very, very happy with picking up 5th in a race of this magnitude. The entry fee for the race cost them more than they pay for Sabuska, and they've picked up $150,000. Let's reflect on just how our Dubai turf was won. If we see a better finish than that all night,